Hey everyone, I'm back here with Amina's voice. I'm going to be reading chapters 7, 8, and 9 today. They're all very short chapters, so I'm going to read them together. Here we go. Chapter 7. Sujin turns the key in the front door of her house and pushes it open, setting off a loud beeping. Hold on a sec. She runs to punch a code into the alarm panel. Come on in. Mom's got class this afternoon and Grandpa's probably asleep upstairs. I pull off my sneakers and line them up on the small carpet near the front door. Sujin's house always reminds me of mine. No one wears shoes indoors, and there's always the faint scent of food lingering in the air. I'm so hungry, Sujin moans. She drops her backpack with a thud at the foot of the stairs and hurries into the kitchen. I follow her after leaving my book bag by the door, and Sujin is already inside the pantry. What do you want? Chips? Rice crackers? Oreos? Chips sound good. Can I get a drink? I made sure to open the refrigerator near the sink. The first time I visited Sujin after school, I hadn't realized that there were two refrigerators in the kitchen. The extra fridge is reserved for making kimchi, fermented vegetables that sit in there for weeks. I pulled open the door without any warning, got a big whiff of the overwhelming pickled odor, and yelled, "Ah!" Sujin and Mrs. Park laughed as I slammed the door shut. After pouring 2 glasses of apple juice, I sit next to Sujin on a bar stool, and we munch on cheese-flavored chips. Actually, I munch while she inhales hers and then waits for me to finish. Where's Kyung-mi? I ask. Sujin's sister, a 4th grader, reminds me of a mini, shyer, and quieter version of Sujin, and often makes me wish I had a real little sister, in addition to Rabia. But Sujin finds her annoying. She has art class. How come you don't take art classes anymore? Sujin used to be into making crafts, and I still have the handmade block print birthday card she made me last year. I like dancing more. Sujin has jazz and ballet classes twice a week after school, and any chance she has, she leaps down the empty hallways at school. I hear a floorboard squeak and see an older man in a brown cardigan shuffling into the room with his arms held behind his back. Sujin quickly stands up and bows deeply. "Annyeonghaseyo," she greets her grandfather. I stand up and bow too. Sujin's grandfather doesn't speak much English, but like always, he smiles warmly and bends slightly in return. Over the years, Sujin has taught me enough phrases of Korean that I understand when Sujin asks her grandfather if he wants her to get him something to eat. He shakes his head, makes himself some tea, and cuts up a pear in precise quarters before shuffling into the family room. There he settles in an armchair and flips on a Korean satellite channel with the volume turned up extra loud. "Let's go to my room," Sujin says. "We won't be able to hear anything in here." The overdramatic music that accompanies the show sounds like the mind-numbing background tracks of the Urdu dramas that my parents watch at home, so I'm glad to leave. I always like hanging out in Sujin's room, which is smaller than mine and painted a pretty green. 2 prints in red frames hang over the bed, each with one bold black Korean letter. The first time I came over, I asked Sujin what the letters meant, and she explained that they spelled her name, which meant treasure. Since I thought that was so cool, I'd given her a silver necklace with a little treasure chest charm for her 10th birthday. Sujin has worn it every day since, but now I wonder how it will all be different when she changes her name. Will she still wear my necklace? Will she take down those frames and decorate with a tacky mug that says Melanie on it? They're saying that this is going to be the snowiest winter we've had in decades, I say. I hope we get lots of snow days. Me too. We didn't get any last year. I live for snow days. We have to get at least a foot in Milwaukee, but when things do shut down, it's like a block party. We have epic snowball fights, Mama and I go cross-country skiing, and Mustafa makes tons of money shoveling driveways. We didn't get any science or math homework today, I say. Yeah, but Mrs. Barton said we have to read up for our next wagon trail assignment. I have been. Do you know how the pioneers used to eat squirrels? Gross, except I can see Bradley being into that. Sujin flops on top of her bed. Although, did you notice that he actually has some good ideas? I know, he was totally right about how to cross the river. I think he's a Boy Scout or something in real life. And Emily's been pretty good too, Eugene says. What do you mean? I mean, she's a good partner and is helping us win. I pause, trying to convince myself not to say anything. So do you, like, want to be friends with her now? It just comes out. I don't know. She used to be really immature, but I think she's changed. She's making an effort and she's not so bad. Not so bad? I chew on my lip, afraid to say anything else. Emily has made me so angry and been obnoxious to Sujin and me for so long. And now Sujin seems to be forgetting so easily. Are you going to go to her house this week? I stare down at my book so she can't see my face. I don't know. I forgot to ask my mom. I exhale slowly. Sujin isn't rushing to spend extra time with Emily, but I can't help wishing again, no matter how much better it has been than I expected, that I had suggested someone else to join our group first. That way I wouldn't have to feel like a bad person for being unwelcoming. And like the Oregon Trail, I wouldn't have to pioneer the uncharted territory of Sujin finding Emily not so bad. Chapter 8. We got it! Sujin shouts 2 days later, rushing into the gym where the rest of us are waiting for the morning bell to ring. Her face is flushed with excitement. Got what? I ask. Our date for our swearing in. It's official. I'm going to be a citizen. Sujin does a little leap of joy. That's great, I say as some of the other kids come over to find out what the commotion is about. My dad is so excited. Yesterday afternoon he bought us all these. Sujin points to a little American flag pin on her sweatshirt. I can imagine Baba doing something like that too. But my parents became citizens when I was much younger, so I don't remember it. When is it? What do you have to do? Margot asks. October 20th, just 2 weeks. Hundreds of people will be there, and I think we all pledge allegiance to the flag together. I get to miss school and everything. Lucky, Allison says. That's really cool, I say. As the bell rings and everyone starts filing out to class, Sujin grabs my arm. Anne, I've decided on my new name, she whispers in my ear. What is it, Melanie? I try to act like it's no big deal. Susan! Sujin looks at me expectantly. Susan? Yeah, what do you think? That's not one of the names you liked before, is it? I know, I just thought of it last night. It's pretty close to Sujin, right? Sujin grins. Yeah, but then why don't you just stay Sujin? I wish I could take the words back as Sujin's expression instantly sours. I thought you would get it by now, she complains. I do, I agree. Susan is a really nice name. My eyes fall on the treasure chest charm hanging around Sujin's neck. Thanks, Sujin squeezes my arm. I think so too. Hi, guys! Emily calls out as we pass her in the halls. We aren't guys. Sujin goes over to talk with Emily at her locker, and as I keep walking down the hall, I hear them discussing the swearing in. An uneasy feeling settles over me that lasts throughout the day and bubbles up inside me again during social studies. I'm sitting next to Bradley and trying to concentrate on our assignment, which is hard enough. But as I watch the girls chatting out of the corner of my eye and see Emily lean in and say something to Sujin that makes her smile, a spark of unmistakable jealousy shoots through my chest. Then, to make matters worse, Bradley delivers unexpected challenges to our westward journey. Amina has cholera, and our wagon lost a wheel. Chapter 9. I see him! Baba strains his neck to peer through the security exit at the arrivals terminal of Chicago O'Hare International Airport. A stout Latino man in a black sport coat trudges through the automatic sliding doors. I giggle, but Baba ignores me. He's so nervous about his brother's arrival that he's been pacing the hall and jumping whenever he spots someone with a tan complexion or a white beard. He made us leave 4 hours early and drove us the hour and a half to Chicago way before Thaya John's flight was due to arrive. Why isn't he out yet? The plane landed an hour ago. Baba repeats for the 5th time as he runs his hand through his hair like he does whenever he's anxious. He will be here soon, Mama says. She's carefully resting on an airport chair, trying not to wrinkle her fancy maroon and black shalwar kameez. What if immigration is giving him a hard time? Or maybe they are going through his bags in customs, Baba asks. It'll be fine, don't worry, Mama says. I can't remember the last time I've seen Baba this jumpy. He's wearing his navy tweed blazer and shiny polished shoes. At Mama's insistence, I'm in a velvet party dress, and even Mustafa grudgingly agreed to put on an iron shirt and some jeans without any holes. Waiting together, we look like the families I see at the mall posing with Santa, dressed in their holiday best, even though it's only the first week of October. There he is! Baba points as the doors open. Daya John emerges in a rumpled shirt, a white kufi pressed over his thick gray and white hair. Baba rushes toward him, and the two brothers thump each other on the back and smile. Then Mama steps forward and bows her head slightly in front of her brother-in-law. Assalamu alaikum, Bye John. We're so happy you came, she says. I stand back, uncertain whether I'm supposed to hug my uncle or wait for him to pat me on the head like the older uncles in the community always do. Amina, Mustafa. Baba motions us closer as if we're strangers needing a formal introduction. My sweet Amina, Daya John says as he plants a big kiss on my forehead. He throws his arm around Mustafa and kisses him on the cheek too, which Mustafa wipes off a second later. What a big boy you are, Mustafa. I'm so happy to be seeing my niece and nephew after so long. His voice is deep and gruffer than on the telephone, and he speaks slowly in Urdu. I respond with the few polite phrases that my parents have taught me to say to uncles and aunties. But after all the usual things, I run out of things to say. Luckily, Baba carries the conversation. Let me help you. He grabs a rolling suitcase from Daya John, while Mustafa takes his briefcase. I sneak peeks at my uncle, who is slightly taller than Baba and looks a lot more like him in real life than in pictures. They have the same thick eyebrows and strong, straight noses. The main difference is that Baba still has a lot of dark hair, while Daya John's is mostly white. His matching white beard is thick and long, which also makes me think of Santa again. How was your trip? Were you able to sleep? You must be hungry. Baba fires off questions as we walk toward baggage claim to get the rest of the luggage. It was a long journey, but I'm here now. Alhamdulillah. Yes, Alhamdulillah, Baba repeats enthusiastically. Daya John turns his head, taking in the row of retail shops selling cheap souvenirs, fast food, magazines, and candy. Crowds of travelers, airport staff, and flight crews rush by us in both directions. I wonder what he thinks of America so far, and hope he likes what he sees. But his eyes are hard to read. Walk faster, Amina, Mama says. Let's hurry up and get Daya John home. We have a long drive. Come, my dear. Daya John puts his arm around me. I smile up at him. Maybe I was nervous for no reason. It's the end of chapter 9. Next time we'll get into chapter 10, maybe more. I'll have to look. All right. Thanks for coming, guys.